If you ever go camping deep in the woods, far away from marked trails, you need to understand something first: you are not alone, and sometimes what you find out there was never meant to be found. I've been camping alone for years, different states, different forests, mostly in remote areas where almost nobody goes. And yeah, I've seen some weird stuff before, but nothing, and I mean nothing, comes close to what I found that night near the Appalachian wilderness. I was hiking way off trail, no paths, no signs, no people. Just trees, silence, and miles of nothing. And then, I saw it, a dining table, right there, in the middle of the forest, 6 chairs, perfectly placed around it, like someone had set it up for dinner. But this wasn't a picnic spot. There was no view, no clearing, no reason for it to be there. The wood was rotting, wet, covered in insects, falling apart. It looked like it had been sitting there for years, and the strangest part, there's no way it could have just been dumped there. Someone had to carry it, piece by piece, deep into the woods, and set it up. Now, I'll admit something, I've always been drawn to creepy things like that. So instead of leaving, I stayed. A few hundred yards away, I found a small clearing. Perfect spot for a campsite, so I set up my tent, heated up some food, and settled in for the night. At first, everything felt normal, quiet, peaceful. The kind of silence you only get deep in nature. But then, I heard footsteps, far away. Maybe a few hundred yards, and I already knew exactly where they were coming from. That table, I froze, listened carefully. The footsteps stopped, then, voices. Low, quiet, talking. That's when I slowly unzipped my tent. Just enough to see outside. And in the distance, I saw a faint light. I grabbed my binoculars and focused on the source. There were 4 men, 3 younger guys, and 1 older man, wearing an eye patch, sitting around that same rotting table, like it was completely normal. They were playing cards, laughing, talking. At first, I thought they were just hunters. But then I started hearing parts of their conversation. They were talking about kills, poaching deer from private land, illegal stuff, and then one of them said something that made my blood run cold. What are we gonna do with the other body? I told myself I misheard it. It had to be an animal, right? But the more they talked, the worse it got. They weren't talking about an animal. They were talking about a person, a man, someone they knew, a family member who had it coming. And they were planning how to get rid of the body. That's when it hit me. They had no idea I was there. But if they found out, would they let me go? Or would I become the next problem they needed to deal with? I had 2 options: stay in my tent and hope they never came close, or disappear. Running wasn't an option. These guys had guns, and they knew the land way better than me. So I made a choice, and honestly, it probably saved my life. I slowly crawled out of my tent. No nose, no light, just dragging myself across the ground. Earlier that day, I'd seen a small ditch nearby. I made my way there, inch by inch, and dropped inside, covered myself with grass, dirt, whatever I could find, and waited. Minutes later, I heard movement, closer this time. They had found my campsite. They were right there, talking, going through my stuff, trying to figure out where I went. I didn't move. I barely breathed. I was sure, if they found me, I wasn't making it out. And then, after a while, they just stopped. One of them said I must have left, and somehow, they gave up. But I didn't move, not for a long time. I stayed in that ditch for hours, too scared to even lift my head. I'm not proud of it, but I was so terrified. I couldn't even move to go to the bathroom. Eventually, when everything was completely silent, I crawled out, didn't pack anything, didn't look back, just ran all the way to my car. Once I finally got signal, I called the police, told them everything. But I didn't have much to give. No exact location, no clear descriptions, just a story. They said they'd follow up, but I never heard anything back. And over the years, I kept checking the news, hoping maybe it wasn't real. But here's the thing, bodies are found in those woods all the time, unidentified, unclaimed. And I can't help but wonder, If one of them was the man I heard them talking about that night. So yeah, if you're thinking about camping alone, deep in the woods, far from anyone else, just remember this. Some things out there aren't lost, they're hidden. Camp in groups, stay safe, and whatever you do, don't go looking for things you're not supposed to find.